Okay guys, so today I've got an Aston Martin DB9. This is the first Aston on the channel. It's the first Aston I've ever driven. What I will do is, obviously it's the drop top. I will put the hood up shortly because I appreciate the wind noise isn't great in this thing. But let's just see if we can hear the engine first. That is the sound of a 4.9 V12 producing about 430 brake. And it's just, I mean, this has got James Bond written all over it, hasn't it? The iconic Aston. It's the gentleman's car, it's the fast car, it's the posing car. It ticks every single box. And I want to talk to you briefly about my thoughts on Astons. I'm just going to put the roof up because I do appreciate the road noise is quiet. See, it's the soft top. We've just seen the roof go up, and just what a car this is. It's very British, it's very James Bondish. It's just the first Aston I've ever driven, first Aston on the channel as well, and I just think what a phenomenal vehicle this is. And I think I've always been a bit unfair to Astons personally because I've looked at them from the outside and thought, what a stunning vehicle that is. Just knock some of this temperature control down there. Someone's been in this on a cold day. Certainly not that today, Manchester. So I've always been a bit unfair to them because if you look at the outside of an Aston, I think they look absolutely stunning. There's not another car on the road in my eyes that's got the look, the style, the elegance, just everything that this car exudes. But when you get inside an Aston, now this is a 2007 DB9. When you get inside these cars, to me they feel a little basic and dated, or certainly from an outsider looking in, opening the door on one and having a look inside, not someone actually driving it. There's two things to know. The first one, I'm just going to get some fuel actually, because this thing drinks fuel. So let's pull in behind this chap in the A-Class and have a chat. Not the most economical vehicle on the road, but what a car it is. It's 4 seats, nice and practical for your family, as long as the family are well, as long as the family can sit on a seat without needing a leg room, because there just isn't any. I'm not tall at all, and I'm 5'8", and with my seat in a driving position, this this thing doesn't offer any leg room at all. So if you were 6 foot, I'm sure you'd be able to drive it, but you wouldn't have any leg room at all. So, lovely vehicle. Now inside, it's very traditional. You've got the Aston Martin clock and the pop-up screen and stuff like that. The big engine start button in the middle of the dash. You've got your gear changes are all selected here, so you've got drive, neutral, reverse and park. Everything's very simply laid out. The door handles are nice, the way they're integrated. They've just done an amazing job of this thing. Right, let me just stick a little bit of fuel in this, and I'll be back with you. To park. It's got a captive handbrake on this, so you pull the handbrake up, you hear it engage, and then you let go and it flops back down. So you've got to be careful. You've got the brake engaged on the dash, otherwise you're not going to be you're going to be rolling off. Especially being auto, and you can't put it into gear to keep it still. Okay, and we're back. We've got some fuel in the thing. Quick turn of the key. Gets everything ready, and then we've got that nice engine start stop button in the middle of the dash. Get the seatbelt on to keep moaning. Okay, so the handbrake's engaged again, captive thing, so pull it up, drop that off, pop it into drive. Is it showing that we've got any fuel in the thing? Yeah, it's actually showing a quarter of a tank. Oh, we've got all day then. I set off quite gingerly. I didn't give it much then at all and it was off. Yeah, going back to what I was saying about the interior of these Astons, so That's metal. That's proper metal. That's the ashtray, and you can see it's not plastic. It's metal. We've got black gloss plastic there, but everything is leather. Proper. You don't normally do a metal knock test in a car, do you? But this is proper metal. We've got heated seats down here on the actual seats. And we've got the seating controls at the side here, so you're not reaching down there and fiddling and not being able to find what you want. As I said, the handle's sort of integrated into this bar that runs alongside, which is nice. Electric windows, electric mirrors. Yeah, the interior of them is actually very nice when you take a deeper look, and I think I've been really unfair to Aston over the years. The clocks are in this brushed aluminium with the Aston Martin logo in front of you there, nice and clear. The speedo goes all the way up to 220 mile an hour, 330 kilometers an hour. Obviously it's a petrol, so we've got the rev counter going up to 8,000 RPM. It's got all the mod cons you need. A little heavy on fuel, I will admit. But aside from that, what? It's a really nice interior, and I've not given it the credit it's deserved at all. And I'm really disappointed with myself based on that. I wish I'd said, do you know what, I've never driven one, let's drive one before you cast an opinion over something. It looked a bit like the 1 Series. I cast an opinion over a 1 Series. I've always thought, why BMW bothered? And I drove one and thought, what a lovely car this is. So yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't make assumptions on things before you've actually seen them. But yeah, so this is, where have I ended up here now? I've ended up at IKEA. Don't need to go to IKEA. I wouldn't imagine I'd get much flat pack furniture in this. Yeah, so it's just a great car. It really, really is. It's just a really nice car. It's something, to be fair, with the size of the engine and the economy of it, you probably have as a weekend car. You might not have as your daily driver. You could do, I suppose. But today, on a Sunday, mid-October, with the sun cracking the flags, it really is a nice hot day today. And it's sort of, I don't think we're going to get an Indian summer, I think it's an Indian day. But it's a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful day that when I finish filming this lid's going down, and I'm going to drive back in this, drive back with the roof down, because it's a waste really driving it with the roof up on a day like this. But such a lovely car. It's just, as I said, this has really impressed me. This proper aluminium, not sort of plastic that looks like aluminium. It's rare to find something like that in a car. I really like this option of selecting gear through buttons. It's very sort of Ferrari-esque, and there's no need for a gear stick really, is there, when you've got that? I suppose obviously you haven't got just let me just get my bearings here a minute. Oh yeah, let's go left. You haven't got the option for no, in fact you have. I was going to say you haven't got the option for a manual or Tiptronic mode, but you have, because you've got the flappy paddles, proper flappy paddles as well, that, you know, again, actually the quality of this vehicle is absolutely, it really is amazing. I mean, so you've got the chrome flappy paddles that are proper metal again, but they've been edged in leather, and it's just, why not make them plastic? Why not make them all metal? They've just, the attention to detail in a car like this is just, it really, really is. My father-in-law loves Astons. He's always been a big fan of an Aston, and he said if he won the lottery, that's what he'd buy himself, an Aston Martin. And I can see why. I've always been a bit dismissive of them. Well, of all the cars in the world, you've got an Aston Martin. And I'm not saying it's my favourite car in the world, and it's the car that I'd choose if I had, you know, if I had to choose one car. I'm not saying this is the car I'd choose. But if I was starting a collection of cars, and I want something for a Sunday, I think a DB9 might be on that list. Especially a drop top. It's just... And this may make me sound like I'm 14, but driving this, you really do feel like James Bond. It's just a cracking British icon. I'm sure there's something that doesn't work about it, because it's British. We don't make very good cars. But in the whole, from what I've seen, everything works. It's great. It really, really is. It's stunning on the outside. It turns heads wherever you see it. It's just, wow, look at that. If you don't know anything about cars, you know what an Aston Martin is, and you see it and you think, wow. And the power of the thing as well. It sounds amazing, looks amazing. You put your foot down and it's gone. That 450 brake is going to throw an E-Class, and that had the Mercedes clock in the centre of the dash. And every single person who got in that car used to say, "That's a nice touch." And it was a facelift. It was 2015, so it was a facelift. And the pre-facelift didn't have the clock there. They just sort of used that space for the clock, and it looked really nice, like a watch and anything. And people used to get in and say, "What a nice feature that clock is." And one person got in, my partner's friend's partner, and he's a really nice lad, Jay. And he got in, and he said, "Oh, I don't like that clock." He said, "I love the car." He said, "But I don't like that clock at all." And he was the first person that had ever got in the car and said that. And maybe there's someone who's going to get in this and say, "Well, they've got a clock there, an analog clock there," but I think these little timepieces in a car really, really do finish them off well. And this just, yeah, it's beautiful. I've really got a thing about door handles today. I've been in an F430 today, and I've been in a Ferrari 328 GTS, which again, stunning car, and they've got really quirky door handles to get in and out of them, and I'm thinking, how do we get out of this thing? Somewhere here, there's a lot of lever, there's something to get me out, and that's the same way. You can work this out very easily, but it's just a bit quirky and a bit different, and I like different glove box handles and different door. I think they're just quirky features of the car. I really, really like it. So I think we'll leave that there then today with this. Just one more thing, in fact, before we go. These sun visors, I do have a bit of a thing for a sun visor as well. If we get a good sun visor that's leather or suede or something, it's got a complete suede headline into this to complement the leather, and it reminds me a little bit like the Tesla one. So in the Model 3, it's a bit like a folio case on an iPad, where it sort of folds back on itself and it's magnetised, and it reminds me very much of that, because it's very, very thin and flush with the ceiling completely. There's no sort of, it sticks proud at the ceiling, but it's only very delicate and small. It's about this big, it's just enough because of the angle of the windscreen to keep the sun out of your eyes. Again, when they design these cars that they're going to charge a lot of money for, they think through little tiny details like that normally would be overlooked. So I'm going to bid you farewell. I'm going to drop the top in a second, and I'm going to head back with the top down and enjoy the sun burning my bald head. I've kept a bit of a winter coat on at the moment. I do need to shave it off though, because it does look a bit untidy. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do smash that like button. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that you get notified of all the new content I drop. And I will see you all very soon.